Hello there everyone, it's Carol from the Crafty Emporium. I want to show you this. This is a commissioned Jane Austen journal that I've just recently completed, and I have had permission from the lady whose journal it is that I could do a video of it, which was very, very kind of her. There were trials and tribulations with this journal, not in what the content of it and how it's made, but earlier on, a couple of months ago, my landlord decided to paint the whole of my flat, and it meant packing everything up in every single room, and it was like a big jigsaw puzzle having to move stuff around, and the guy that was doing the painting took his time, and it took a month and a half, probably month and a half, 2 months, month and a half I think it was, to complete all the painting, which left me in an absolute mess because I had stuff all over the place, and then in the midst of all of that I was ill. So this journal has been hovering about waiting to be completed during all of that going on because I couldn't do anything. So it has taken me a long time to complete this journal. I am so grateful that the lady whose journal it is has been very kind and generous with me for that. So going straight to the journal, she's a chunky one. It's the biggest journal that I have made to date, and she's heavy. She didn't want a journal that she could write in, she just wanted one that was just purely for decoration. So I'm going to try and give you a bit of a close-up of these flowers here on the front. Can hold it steady. So as you can see, I've used some paper flowers here and put some pearlized bead trim on, and I also wanted to give you a close-up of this, and you'll probably see it better on the back, will you? Yeah, so I decorated the cover with wallpaper, and then I've got this really wide lace that I then stuck on top of it so that it gives it a really lovely effect. And then the scalloped edges I've got just overhanging the edge of the journal a little, and then on the spine there is this. It was a brooch, but I thought it was sort of relevant to the era, and then I had a piece of cutwork lace which I've then stuck on the spine around the outer edges there, and then cut an applique up and attach that as well. So I'm going to put her down because she's heavy. So I've used some beautiful silk fabric as the tie. I didn't want to use seam binding because I felt that it was just a little bit too flimsy for the weight of the book. So going on in, and I'm hoping that I can get all of this in to show you. So on the inside cover there is a corner pocket up here, and if any of you have been following along with my 5 things challenge, you will have seen some of these items that are in this journal. So this is one of the circle tags that's up in the corner there, and banners. I'm going to try and go through it as quickly as possible and not show you too many little different bits and pieces, because it'll just take me too long. There's a postcard here which has been stitched with some paper on the back, and it forms a little pocket on the back there, a little lace flower, and there's a saying from out of a book. All the papers are tea dyed, so because I didn't want too strong a colour background paper. In this pocket here there's a booklet, and I've decoupaged a napkin up here. So this is the booklet, and it has some pages from some original Jane Austen books, some pages, and then just blank pages, so that if she does want to write anything at all, then she has got somewhere to write. But as I say, she did want it so that it wasn't writable in. Let me tilt it this way a little. So there's a pocket here, and a paper envelope. There's a picture of Darcy on there. Ooh, isn't he lovely? But you can actually pull that out because I've put photo corners on. Bit of a swoon moment there with Mr. Darcy. There's a pocket here. Most of the kit that I've used was the Calico Collage, although I have also used Artie Maze's Jane Austen kit, and also some of Tsunami Rose's as well as some other bits and pieces that I found on Pinterest. This is another one of the 5 things challenge that I used there. I've punched the edges of some of the pages and put lace on some of the others. This is a glassine bag, and it's got some fringing and lace, some cards in there, a big tag, big piece of paper, and then here I've rolled up a piece of paper and tied it up with some twine, and it's got a pen nib attached to that. This was a piece of tracing paper. I put some rose trim on, and then that flips up to reveal a belly band, and there's some things under there. There are charms attached to ball pins on the edge of the page, so that they've got charms relating to Jane Austen. This is a notepad. It's got a metal element up there, a little filigree element, and then it's got pages, various coffee dyed pages in there, and then the whole booklet actually lifts out. I'm not going to do it. And you'll also notice as well as we go through, I've got some stenciling on each of the pages. There's a part page here, and this silhouette of Jane, I've actually put glossy accents on that. A strip from the book page, flowers. This one here, there's a pocket at the top. If I pull that out, you'll see I've done some more napkin decoupaging on there. Now this particular page, I've done it so that if she has any of her own bits and pieces, sorry, to get back in frame, if she has any of her own bits and pieces relating to Jane Austen, then this is the section where she can actually put them. So I've put a metal filigree corner on there, and if you grab hold of that and pull it up, it opens out so that there's a sheet there. I don't know if you can sort of see all of that, where she can then go and stick pictures and bits and pieces relating to Jane on that. There's another charm here, which is a little inkwell with a pen, you know, the scrolly pen thing in. This is the centre of the first signature, and I've done tracing paper pockets here, made some paper bows, and then there's booklets, papers, and some pages from a book that I've got on the making of Pride and Prejudice. So there's some pages like that throughout the journal. The centre itself is an envelope which is folded in half, and it forms a pocket there, and there's things in there. Pockets here with bits and pieces in that are stitched, and again the petal envelope which was from the 5 things challenge. There's some more papers in that side for the paper bow. Another one of the 5 things challenge, and then there's a book page again from, this was one of the ones that I own. It's called My Dear Cassandra, and it's letters that she wrote to her sister Cassandra. And there's a charm, a butterfly charm on there. I've done a little bit of a paper ruffle here and a vintage button. On this page, this one is a flip up, flip down belly band, and then tucked behind the belly band itself, and it's just clipped in place. I'll just pop that up, and as you can see I've done some stenciling on there. So this again was from the 5 things challenge, where this unwraps and opens up, so there's a big pouch envelope there, and that just slots under there. And the lace, which is beautiful, I received from a lady on my group as a rag, but I love that lace. I think it's really pretty. Another picture of Mr. Darcy. You have to just stroke him as you go by. Oh, Colin, you are lovely. So next page. It's middle-age syndrome, I think. Get back in the centre. So there's a pocket here, and some writing paper and more stenciling there. Lace applique. pocket here with extra papers inside. This, she wanted to have some of my embroideries in, so I'd got this one. Let's see if I can do a closer view of it, of a tree. Couldn't think of the word. It's a tree and it's got bullion, not roses on it. So that was a piece of embroidery that I created, butterfly, but I made it into a pocket, and in the pocket is a little, well, a long notebook. Here I've put a little tab on and a ceramic type rose on the corner of that. Another long pocket with some of the journaling cards in. This is the other side of the paper pocket, and it's got a book envelope inside it, and it's got a book envelope on the outside, which is just, you've got a wraparound ribbon to close it, so that there's a pocket in there. This page here was a book that I've got, and it's a really big book, and these were the front pages. There's another one as well later on in the book, but this was the Pride and Prejudice one, and I actually took the page out of the book, attached it to another page and made it into a big tag pocket, so that there's some writing paper in there. I'm not going to take it out. Writing paper in there, and then on the front I just attached, this was another piece from a book that I'd got, and I made that into a little belly band, and then underneath there I made a tracing paper. I think this was an Artie Mays one. I printed it out smaller, but I printed it onto tracing paper, so it made a little tracing paper envelope, put some paper inside of that, but I attached it to the page so that it's also a big tuck spot here. This is the end of the first signature, and I've done this so that you've got a corner flip at the top and a double corner flip at the bottom, and then there's a page tucked underneath those two corner pockets. I put lace trim down the centre in between each of the signatures as well. Second signature, again, it's another pocket, and inside that one there's the notebook that I made in the 5 Things Challenge, because I did say that I was going to make stuff related to Jane Austen, because I knew that I wanted some stuff. Another little ball pin and charm here of an envelope. Oh, missed a page. So this one has got 3 little envelopes, and they've each got a little something inside of them, but also I attached the envelopes so that they also formed a pocket as well, and so inside the pockets of the envelopes make, there's some little cards in there. This one here was some more decoupage in. I have a book on quotes from the Jane Austen journal, so that was one of the quotes there. There's an envelope, some lace applique, and the lady also liked the hair comb that I'd used in one of the other journals that I made. I think it was one of the Artie Mays lady ones. So here I've done a big pocket with one of the pages, done some layering down here with cheesecloth, crochet, flowers. There's some buttons here, and then inside of this one I've done a big journaling card and attached a ball pin to the ribbon. Got some coffee dyed paper on the back. This one is a flip out. Just move it across a little, so it flips out that way, and it also flips that way, and then there's the lovely coffee tea stained paper underneath, and I've just held that down with a paper clip. This was a corner pocket. This was from a medieval kit that I'd got, but I just thought it was really pretty. And then this was one of the floating pocket pouches that again I made in the 5 Things Challenge, laid up all sorts of different bits, done some embossing down here. There's a pocket on the back, and then there's a big tag inside the pocket itself. And then the paper clip holds that and the previous page in place. This page was a page that now then, if this makes sense, this is a page that I added to the page. So this is the actual page itself, but I then got a piece of paper which I folded in half and I attached it to the page. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So on the front part of the fold out, I attached this big piece and made it into a tuck spot. So this was one of the Tsunami Rose cards. So that tucks in there, but then this then flips open, and inside of there I've attached a big rectangular paper doily, and then inside of that I've then attached a little booklet, and inside the booklet is an envelope. Ooh, that was complicated, wasn't it? So if you open up the envelope, and this was something else that she especially requested, there is a little flower sample and an embroidered handkerchief. So that's in the centre there of that envelope. So it's all kind of well hidden. And then on the back I've attached a piece of lace, and then I've put 3 different tags down that centre part. So that clips shut, and then there's a clip there to just hold it closed. On this one I cut out a piece of Northanger Abbey, so it's chapter 31, and then I cut out one of the ladies and attached her so that she's now a tuck spot. On this page here I attached a corner pocket, and then behind there is another page from the Dear Cassandra book and one of Tsunami Rose's. Done some stenciling, and I've attached a lace ruffle just down the edge there. This is the other book page I was on about. So this is the Sense and Sensibility. Added some buttons, attached another piece of embroidery that I've done here. See if I can just give you a close up of the embroidery. That's that. And then it makes a pocket so that there's some paper inside of there, and then this one flips open to reveal a belly band on this side and another journaling card with a little bit of stenciling on the paper. Some stenciling here, a little die cut and a little inchy there which I've put glossy accents on, and this I've made into one of the 3D pockets. So if I just hold it to the side and pull, so you can see there's two concertina pockets. I was going to put some tea bags in there, some English tea bags, and when I actually had a look, the country that this is to go to, you're not allowed to send tea, so that put paid to that idea. On this page, with a paper clip at the top, I've attached, there's a book charm there, done some stenciling, there's another little quote here. I've done some freehand doodling around the flowers, but I actually have clipped, it's a wallpaper envelope, did a little bit of lace decoupage there, lined it with one of the DigiKit's paper, and then there's some papers inside of there. But on the back I did a fabric pocket, so there's a pocket there on the back with some papers inside of there. Did some decoupaging with the cutout bits, and then put the journaling note card onto that. The light is going terrible here. I think there's a storm brewing, so I'm hoping that the light is okay for this. There's an envelope pocket here, and I put a band across there to hold the flap in place. Decoupage some napkin onto the actual flap and put some lace on, so that when you open it up there's some papers inside of there. And then in the pocket itself there's some more journaling card and paper from the Cassandra book, and then I've done stenciling around the top. Big pocket here with a little pocket on top. So there's a journaling card inside the little pocket, and then inside the big pocket there's this image of Pride and Prejudice front cover, and then I've just done some decoupaging and stenciling on the back. So that's the end of the second signature. Put some lace down the centre spine again. So on the first page of the third signature there's a metal filigree at the top there, and then I've used the pages from the Calico Collage kit to make it into a tiered flip, like we do with the what's the word I'm looking for? Go on, shout it out louder, can't hear you. What do you call the it'll come to me. Anyway, the third page I've attached so that it also becomes a tuck spot in there, so it's a bit of a hidden space. The next page I've done this as a flip here, and then there's a pocket at the top with some coffee dyed paper in. There's a little flip tag there, and I've stitched across here without any thread in my sewing machine, so it's got the dotted holes across there, and did a die cut top, put some tracing paper on the back so it gives a bit of a stained glass effect. This was one of my new dies that I've got, which is a half circle doily die, and then I've done some decoupage in there, and then there's a piece of paper. This was from one of the Artie Mays kits, and then I've made a paper booklet out of some of my leftover pages, and when I sewed the papers all together I attached buttons onto the edge of the paper as well. On this page, this is a flip open envelope, so the envelope is stuck to the page, and on here I've glued a pen nib. There's a bottle of ink here, some book pages, so that when you flip this open you've then got the entry to the envelope here. And a little interesting tale, I actually have printed off a big £10 note. I don't think I'll be able to go to Asda shopping with this, but it was really funny trying to print it off. If you try and print it off the right size, the correct size of a £10 note, it won't let you print it. I presume so that you can't go to Asda shopping with your printed £10 notes, but I was able to print it off really large. So yeah, this was the £10 note that was dedicated, of course, to Jane Austen, just in case you're wondering why I put a £10 note in there. On this page there's a pocket and a tuck spot, and then there's some information there about the Sweet Williams out of Jane's garden that she liked. I think it was her favourite, come on, go back in, favourite flowers. Here there's a lace pocket, and then inside the lace pocket I made another floating pocket out of printed tracing paper, and there's all sorts of little bits and pieces, and an applique, butterfly, and some more bits in the top there. On this page I did the things. Can't think of the words again. And then this was another one of the 5 things challenge that I made, that's going to be coming up actually. You've got a bit of a preview there. And then this was one of the pages that was taken out of the book about how they made the programme that they did in Pride and Prejudice. I might as well show you this properly, hadn't I? Because because this is going to be posted tomorrow, so it's not going to be available when I actually do the challenge. But this is one of the things that I made, which is a tag, and it's attached to an envelope. So this is what we're going to be doing. So I'll show you different ways of how we can do that. clips under there. Ooh, getting caught on me crotcheting lace. There we go. This is the centre of the third signature, which is very floral. So I found this on Pinterest and printed it off twice. So there's one here and there's one here, but they're inverted. So the heavier part is at the top here, and there's some stenciling on the page, and again another book page from the Dear Cassandra book. And then the actual centre of the signature is an actual booklet. So there's little envelopes, coffee dyed papers, tuck spots. And then this is the same image as here, but as I say, inverted, so the heavy part is at the bottom. And then I've got a free floating pocket at the bottom with some bits in. Here there's another belly band, and there's a big tag behind there. I won't get it out. Another lace pocket, and again this is one of the tags that I made. Oh, that's why it's gone really dark. It's just started absolutely chucking it down. Big storm. And then on the edge of the page here I've done a little tab and put a paper rose on that one. On this page, sorry, it's getting a little bit more difficult to see now, I added a really long pocket, put a belly band on there, and then put a bookmark underneath that belly band. And then inside the pocket there's another one of the floating pockets that I made with embossing on it and a journaling card, and used the pages from the book. This has got a pocket on the back, and there's a tag, and then I'm going to bring this one out to show you. This is one of my embroideries, one of my designs, and so I've made it into a bookmark. It's not the actual embroidery, this is a photograph of it, and so I made that into a bookmark. And then I've used the lady to secure the top of the flap, but that flips up and this flips down, and then inside of there there's a belly band here with a card on. Sorry, let's see if I can do it, so I don't want to damage the book. And then there's a belly band here, an envelope and a card there. Just bring it back down carefully. There we go. So then that flap sits underneath that lady. Another book page with a journaling card and made the lady into a tuck spot. This is another flip open here with a tuck spot at the top, pocket, sorry, at the top. And then at the back of the book, this is a belly band that flips up, got some journaling paper behind it with some stenciling, and then, I'm not going to take this out, but I've attached a lace trim here, and then I've tucked, this is one of the paper envelopes, and I've put the flap underneath, put it over the top, and then done it up. So you've got to undo the ribbon to be able to undo all of that, but I won't bother doing that. And then obviously we've then come to the back of the journal, and again on the back this was another one of the things that we made in the 5 things challenge, one of the half doilies, and that's my, so as you can see, look, without the ties on, she's a real fatty. So that's the Jane Austen journal, going home to its new mummy tomorrow. Oh, a couple of beads have just come off there, look. I'm just gonna have to stick one back on. This is the problem when you're trying to do a video of it and you're moving it about a lot, you can end up damaging it. And yeah, so that's my Jane Austen journal. I just wanted to share it with you. I'll say goodbye to it because, as I say, it's going to its new mummy tomorrow. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.